episode 603 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Tonight, gonna be talking about AEW Saturday Collision and Rampage. AEW, where the best wrestle, as we get ready for Double or Nothing next weekend on pay-per-view. All of that right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Welcome, Wrestling Fanatics, to a brand new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I am Lance Brock, and Saturday night's all right for fighting. Audio version only tonight on this Saturday night. I'm sure I probably will do more video versions, but kind of depends on if I'm in the right mood or not. So if you do want to watch the video versions of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, they are at the 360 Wrestling Podcast's YouTube channel. But the bad thing about that is you gotta look at my ugly face. But tonight we have 3 hours of all elite wrestling to talk about, with Saturday Collision and Rampage. Just a quick programming note. Next Friday, Rampage returns to its regular time, but at an earlier time slot, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, just before the NBA playoffs on TNT. And let's get into tonight. Saturday Collision, starting off live at the Moto Center in Portland, Oregon. Our commentators for Collision, Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness. We start things off, the aerial assassin Will Ospreay in action, taking on Shane Taylor, with Anthony Ogogo in his corner. And then we get the Undisputed Kingdom. Roderick Strong is on commentary for this match, along with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. And this was a really fun opener to start off Collision on this Saturday night. Really good match. Will Ospreay getting the win. Post-match, we see Roderick Strong get on the apron to distract Ospreay, and Taven and Bennett attack him from behind. But Will Ospreay counters that, fights him off, and Will Ospreay will challenge Roderick Strong for the AEW International Championship 1 week from tomorrow at Double or Nothing on pay-per-view. Next up, we start the qualifying matches to determine the number one contender for the the FTW Championship. Hook taking on Johnny TV. Pretty good match here. Hook gets the submission victory with the red rum. And as Hook is making his way back up the ramp, we get the entrance for the next match, Katsuyori Shibata. He sees Hook on the stage, gives him a fist bump. He is taking on Rocky Romero, and Another really fun match here. Definitely a good match. I recommend checking this one out if you did not see Collision tonight. Shibata also getting a submission victory over Rocky Romero. Next, we have Bounty Hunter Brian Keith taking on Beefcake Boulder, representing the Iron Savages. Keith gets the win. And next up, we have freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy taking on one half of Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy. I know I sound already into this episode like a broken record, but a really good match between these two. OC gets the win, but during the match, Trent Beretta shows up at ringside, sits in the front row, and after the match, Lexi Nair interviews Beretta, and he challenges Orange Cassidy for Double or Nothing to a straight-up wrestling match. I don't think they've announced it officially just yet, but I'm sure it will happen. Women's action, Serena Deeb taking on Anna Jay. Serena getting the win here, and then after the match we see Luther make his way out, get the banner of Serena Deeb, and then we see Mariah May make her way out. Then the AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm and Luther and Mariah May hold up the flag while Toni Storm takes her clothes off behind, and then Serena chases after them. They will go one-on-one at Double or Nothing for the AEW Women's World Championship. Next up, representing the Patriarchy, Nick Wayne taking on Jack Cartwheel. Wayne getting the victory here. Wednesday night on Dynamite, he will go one-on-one with the AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland. Our main event for Collision, a trios match. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. Team AEW in the Anarchy Arena. Tonight, though, they are taking on the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, and the Righteous Vincent and Dutch. Good main event here. Danielson and FTR get the win. After the match, the Righteous attack them with chairs, leave FTR lane, leave Danielson lane, and then Daniel Garcia comes out with a chair. Danielson gets back up, grabs one of the chair to chase off the Righteous. And now it is time for Rampage. We start off Kyle O'Reilly taking on, representing Shane Taylor Promotions, Lee Moriarty. And Anthony Ogogo is in Moriarty's corner. Really good really good opening match here on Rampage. O'Reilly gets the submission victory. We saw the highlights from Dynamite last Wednesday night. Malachi Black and the House of Black attacking Adam Copeland, taking his wedding ring, and Kyle O'Reilly coming out trying to make the save there. Next, Roosh defeats Cody Chun. Women's action, Deonna Purrazzo defeats Robin Renegade. Then after the match, we see Thunder Rosa come out. We get another video package of Scorpio Sky, who will be making his return to AEW soon. And then in the back, Lexi Nair is with Sanjay Dutt. And he says he talked to the EVPs, the Young Bucks. And also, I forgot to mention this, but there was an interview with Bryan Danielson, and he says he will be at Dynamite this Wednesday night. And Sanjay says since he'll be there, he said he'll be there, but he will not be the one competing against Danielson, but it will be his giant Saddam Singh. So that this Wednesday night on Dynamite, Bryan Danielson versus Saddam Singh. And they didn't play the clip, once again, of Mark Henry, but I am going to say it anyway. It's time for the main event. The Machine, Brian Cage, taking on one half of the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens. Not a bad main event here. Brian Cage gets the win with the drill claw. And I forgot to mention it at the top of the show, but Daddy Magic, Matt Menard joined Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness on commentary for Rampage. So overall, some good wrestling on tonight's episodes, especially on Collision, and on Rampage, the Kyle O'Reilly, Lee Moriarty match, really good. I definitely recommend checking out both shows if for some reason you missed them. And also, just once more to remind everybody, next Friday, Rampage returns to Friday night, but it will be airing 6:30 p.m. Eastern, just before the NBA playoffs on TNT. And that is about it for tonight's episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hope everyone had a great Saturday. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. We'll be back right here tomorrow morning for the Sunday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Feel free to go to that comment section and leave your thoughts and your opinions on both tonight's episodes of Collision and Rampage. And I hope you will join me tomorrow for GMWF. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.